Hey everyone, welcome to another interview on the Hungry People. Today I have with me, all the way from Australia, I have Selina with me. Selina, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Hello, I'm Selina. I'm the founder of Supercells. I live down under. Bit wet here today, but we don't have too bad winter days. Winter in Australia at the moment, coast, which I love. What can I tell you about me? Do you want to know my history or how
Yeah, you
I?
could dive into that a little bit.
Well, I sold my soul for years in corporate media. They pay you the big bucks, but they really do want blood for that money. Um, but that sort of led me to have reoccurring illnesses, especially tonsillitis, and also I had adrenal fatigue because I was working ridiculous hours and just not looking after myself at all. Work hard, play hard, girl.
So you were feeling
Anyway,
like burned out?
I was totally burned out. I weighed like 49 kilos. I don't know what that is in pounds, but it's very heavy. You've been through something similar when your body's
Right.
just not working. It's just, I was debilitated. So I jumped ship from corporate media and I went into charity and used my expertise to run a telethon. Do you have telethons over there where you raise money?
Yeah,
So
I think so.
yeah, I worked for somewhere called the Sydney Children's Hospital, so I was raising money for sick kids, and that was just sort of like jumping out of the fry pan into the fire because it's all the same, like they
Yeah.
just care about the bottom line. It's just it was very I was disillusioned by the job. So I thought, no, I'm going to follow my passion, which is health. And I decided to take a year off and study integrative nutrition with the Institute for Integrative Nutrition via correspondence from New York,
Oh, wow.
which was amazing because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. But the universe had a different plan for me. And during my healing process, I was introduced to something called molecular hydrogen, which I had no idea about. I was like, hydrogen, like as in a bomb.
Was it introduced through the Institute or did you stumble upon it?
Yes, an old friend introduced me to it. It was only available in America, actually, in a very it was an arduous process to have it. He just sent me something and said, look, try this. I think it will really help you. And I used to have to put a tablet into a liter of water, put the lid on, and wait for half an hour for it to generate just a small amount of hydrogen. And
Wow.
yeah, it was not user friendly, but within a few days, I had completely turned the corner. I was sleeping, my head was clear, and I'm like, what is this stuff, man? I need it. Anyway, I thought I started doing a deep dive. I'm all about, doing my due diligence on everything. And I looked into hydrogen and I found out, wow, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry in Japan. Like, where is it in Australia? Why isn't the Western world onto this? It's unbelievable. But it was a fairly new development in finding the therapeutic effects of hydrogen. And this is
Right.
about 20 years ago.
So
So,
could you order from Japan a better version of that, or were you
well,
still just continuing to use the same one?
yeah, I was ordering one from America that my friend had got me, but I needed to find out more and more about it
Right.
in better ways. So I found an unbelievable manufacturer that had come out with this new technology that was really high concentration hydrogen. You just put it in a glass of water and it's effervescent and it just creates all this hydrogen gas within the water within a minute instead of like waiting 30 minutes. So at this point in time, I was so sold on the product personally through my own experience. I was like, I need to get this out there. I saw a niche in the market. No one was doing it in Australia, hardly anyone in the US. And um, and then just through my spiritual practice and just being guided basically by the universe, I discovered that everything is about the cell. It doesn't matter about protein powders, this, that, anything that puts a band aid over the issue. Cellular health starts and finishes within a cell, like true health.
Right.
So I started looking at things differently and understanding about foundational health, and that's where my other products came into play. So you've got hydrogen, which is from the sun, basically. We're all hydrogen, but the sun's 72% hydrogen. That gives us a positive charge. We've got elements from the ground, which through minerals, which gives us a negative charge, and we've got oxygen all around us. So the three products there. We're actually electromagnetic beings. So we take these charges from the earth and the sun, and it cultivates our health. That's why getting out in nature is so important. Grounding, getting morning sunlight, getting sun
Right.
on your skin, very important.
So, how much time was passed in between you first trying the hydrogen from America and then getting to where you were manufacturing? You were working with the manufacturer to produce your own. How much time in between?
Um, Probably a year.
Okay, and you continued throughout that time to take hydrogen daily?
Oh yeah, I've been on hydrogen since the day it was introduced.
And I know you said like within a couple of days you felt like almost a complete shift, but as you were going, as the months rolled on, were you noticing continual enhancement?
Of course, yeah, and a lot
Okay.
of them
Well, we're
were balancing for moods and stress and things like that. So things were happening physically, but mentally there were huge changes happening.
okay. So what kind of shifts were you noticing between like let's say month 3 and month 9? Were you just noticing overall more like stableness? The sleep continued to get better? I know for myself the sleep was like the immediate thing I noticed. Like the sleep, I assume that has something to do with the magnesium. Maybe plays a part in that a little bit.
Well, it's all about balancing yourself. So, I mean, just to divert a little bit, um, the World Health Organization, our friends at the World Health Organization, they say there's over 12,000 diseases. It's like, that's a lot of diseases. But there's not. There's just one disease, and that disease is malfunctioning cells, right? So that sort of gives you control back. Because what happens is people give away their power when they're sick. So they become their disease. I have cancer. I am blah, blah, blah. You're giving your power away. But when you know that you're in control of your body and all it takes is to change a cell and then another cell and another cell, and those cells replicate as healthy cells because you're fixing them individually, then that makes disease so much more manageable. And I can talk to you about how to actually address the cell and what it needs.
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah,
I want to clarify for people watching is what you just said is that basically the better nourished and functioning a cell is and hydrated and oxygenated, uh, the better the cell is. Whatever you're dealing with, your body is just going to have an easier time in overcoming that or trying to get into a better state. Does that make sense?
yeah, it's all about bringing the body back into homeostasis, which is balance, right?
Okay.
So when we're sick, it's dis-ease. So the body is not in ease, it's not functioning properly.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing individual cells, and then they are a community of cells as well, that are our organs and different parts of our body, bringing those back into balance is what makes the body function properly. So
Okay.
it's about balancing the body.
Gotcha.
And when you ask about the hydrogen, yeah, I mean, these products have a cumulative effect. And to be honest, even if you take the hydrogen for a number of months and go off it for a while, the effects will remain in your body for weeks or sometimes even months, just from the cumulative benefits of the hydrogen and the repair that the hydrogen has done to your cells.
Yes. One of the things I really like about the whole concept is because I've been involved in the detox community for a long time, and a lot of people are really, really all about less is more, including too much of anything or including really anything outside of, water or whatever is everything is a burden on the body basically. This is the concept that people keep putting into my head, but what I'm finding is really the inclusion of what the body and cells actually need helps to enhance the detoxification process. So including more of these things actually helps you detox better, as well as having proper nutrition helps the organs and glands to detox better. It's not all about dry fasting and doing all these crazy extreme diets that a lot of people are really pushing. So I really love the fact that people can be inclusive, so they're not being deprived.
100%. And if you talk to specifically the hydrogen on that point that you just
Yeah.
made, so most things have a residual molecule or something. Like if you take vitamin C, there's a vitamin C molecule your body's got to deal with at some point. With the hydrogen, it attaches to the most damaging free radical called the hydroxyl radical. That's the one that ages us and causes disease and things like that. It's got like a fatal attraction towards this one free radical. That's not good. And it turns it into water when it has a reaction with it, and the water just leaves your body. So there's actually no residual thing for the body to deal with when you're taking the
Right.
hydrogen. It's just all out. So there's nothing hanging around as like an after effect of the benefit.
Sure. Right. So you're accumulating the benefits, but you're not building any kind of residues or anything like that up at the same time.
Yeah.
Plus, you're enhancing the body functions on top of that, so they can eliminate other things even better.
100%.
Awesome. Yeah. So you started getting, you started manufacturing these your own. You're already, I'm sure, so excited and just telling everybody about it. What was happening from there?
What do you mean in terms of?
Well,
Oh,
were you continuing to learn more about these products? And you said you started to develop the awareness of the oxygen and the minerals.
so I sort of went into cell hacking, which is how to recognize what the cell needs to thrive, basically. So the cell needs to have good things put into it and have bad things taken out of it.
Right.
So the bad things that are taken out are things that cause us to be deficient, or things that cause toxicity to the cell. So in today's world, obviously there's so many things that cause us to be toxic, and we're deficient in a lot of things as well. For example, the soil doesn't have the nutrients that it requires to feed the plants, so that the plants have the nutrients to feed the humans. This is because of lack of biodiversity. So basically, there aren't enough crops, being turned over. The soil's not resting. We're raping the soil,
Right.
actually. So that means the soil's sick. And when the soil's sick, that means that we are sick, because we're
Right.
not getting anything from the soil anymore. So you need to externally, because the body can't produce elements and minerals and things like that, you've got to support externally. We need to supplement with those. Even organic food is just not cutting it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just
Personally, I noticed when I started implementing minerals, I was mixing them at the time with my smoothies and juices. I was noticing that I was having less fight or flight. I wasn't urinating chronically like I was. And I overall just felt more, I felt as though I was actually utilizing what was coming in. And because I was spending all this money on all this food and organic and whatever, but then as soon as I started using the minerals, I noticed like I actually was absorbing what I was eating. You think that's
100%.
pretty common? Yeah.
Well, that's what fulvic acid does. So
Okay.
fulvic acid not only delivers 77 minerals, trace elements, and amino acids to your cells directly,
Mm-hmm.
it can carry 60 times its molecular weight. So it carries all the supplements, nutrients from food, drinks with it into a small format, so it can go into the cell. So
Right.
when you take a vitamin pill and then your urine is yellow,
Yeah.
it means that you're actually probably getting rid of 90% of that tablet. With the fulvic acid, everything is bioavailable. That means everything's going into the cell, which is so important.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a question about the minerals. If you take them in the beginning of the day, let's say you were starting with one dosage a day, and then you were having later on your dinner, is it still in your system and helping to utilize the dinner as well? Or
Yeah,
how does that work?
yeah, it will be. It will
Okay.
be.
Okay.
But I just love the minerals. I just have them all the time.
Yeah.
I just put it in my water constantly, just wherever I am. I'm just having the
Right.
minerals. But I've actually got a hack for you that I haven't showed you yet,
Okay, cool.
which is exciting. because the minerals can be used obviously internally, and they are fantastic internally. They
Mm.
help your skin, hair, nails grow, etc. But you can also use them topically.
Mm.
So I've just got this little bottle of pure water in there, not from the tap. And I'm going to take the minerals, which is a black liquid that doesn't taste like anything or smell like anything,
It
but it
looks so
does stay.
cool. It's like a lava lamp.
I'm just going to put some in there like that. You see that?
Yeah.
And I am going to use this as a topical spray. So after I wash my face at night, I spray the minerals onto my face. If you're losing your hair, you can spray it onto there. If you've got fungus issues, spray it onto the
Mm.
fungus. Eczema, psoriasis, everything like that. These minerals are champions at helping any skin issues. And if you use that in combination with the oxygen spray, you're on a real winner. Yeah, I was working on a product launch of something like this, but with lots of other things in it, and
Mm.
COVID just butted his head in.
Right.
So that's sort of on hold at the moment, but we can hack the current product and use that to our advantage. So it can be used topically as well as internally.
Awesome. Yeah, I have two things to say about that. When you put the minerals into the little bottle, will it keep? Does it have to be done every time you're about to spray?
Yeah, that keeps. That will last me like a
Okay,
month.
cool.
You don't
And
need much. You don't need much.
yeah, and I remember we actually discussed this a little bit because I was mentioning about if can I spray the oxygen in my hair because when I was sick, my hair had gotten really thin. It regrew a good amount, and I think it's looking a lot healthier. But you had mentioned doing that. You had mentioned putting some of the minerals into the spray bottle and spraying my hair, which I haven't done yet, but now I'm definitely going to make
Yeah.
that a
You can spray it on,
priority.
like if you've got thin eyebrows or eyelashes, you just spray it on there as well. You
Mm,
can spray it onto your nail beds, anything.
yeah.
Like seriously, it's fantastic. And of course, the skin is permeable, so it will take what's put onto the skin. That's why we need to be so careful of what we put onto the skin.
You know what's so funny about that? When I was at my sickest, I would get a shower and I would gain 10 pounds of water weight. I would step out of the shower 10 pounds heavier, and then I would
Wow.
just start urinating all of that out. And when I told physicians that, they said that's impossible. That doesn't happen. And every single doctor that I've told said that isn't possible. And it's so funny because it literally was happening. Like they could say whatever they wanted. And then I have spoken to a few physicians since that acknowledge that, but they're like usually that's like the most chronic states they will like see of having acidosis or issues in terms of you know
But
buildup in the
you
body.
in tune with your body enough to know that that was happening. So that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Well, I would notice because my legs would swell up. That's why I would notice. And
Wow.
yeah, so that's not an issue anymore, thank God. But it was just incredible to see how much you really can absorb through your skin. And actually, the reason why I got a shower filter is because I watched a video of a guy who got 2 cups of sink water, and he opened up a tablet and he said it will turn yellow depending upon how much chlorine is in the water. So he puts it in and it turns super yellow. Then he takes the other cup, he dips his finger in for like 3 seconds, takes it out, and when he puts it in, it doesn't turn yellow at all. And he's like, that's how fast you're absorbing the chlorine into your skin. So as soon as I seen that, I went and got a shower filter, and ever since I don't get dry, itchy skin anymore. And it was just really I was absorbing all of that toxicity, I think.
That makes me think of something else because some people are more acidic than others, and our skin can be acidic as well. The
Mm.
minerals actually, you're spraying it onto your skin, it alkalizes your skin, so it creates a neutral pH. So for people that have those inflammation issues,
Yeah.
you're reducing the inflammation, and so the pH is coming back to a normal level. That's another thing that the minerals do.
Right. And it's so funny that you mentioned the oxygen spray because that stuff is like a miracle. I have so many testimonies so far of the oxygen from rashes, wisdom teeth, my own dental issues that I was going through at the moment. I just had gone to the dentist and had some work, inflammation. What else? Sunburn. Um, just I worked with a boxer with bloody knuckles, and he needed his knuckles to heal before his fight. And literally that day, I sprayed it. Next morning, he said he was hitting the heavy bag all day. That stuff's like magic. It literally feels like it's magic. It just fixes whatever the problem it's sprayed on.
Well, it does. And I know that, we're just so subjected to so much marketing crap
Yeah.
and lies. Um, it's just really good to get testimonials from people
Hmm.
because I know it works. I mean, I have a friend that had open heart surgery and had the like gnarly, really bad scar. And I sent him some bottles of oxygen spray and he took a photo like straight after the op and then 5 days later, the scar had almost healed. The doctors were like, what is going on here? Like it wasn't red, inflamed, angry anymore.
Yeah.
It was like light pinkish white, and he was just spraying it with the spray. So I know it works.
It's
But the thing
amazing.
this is a low dose or potency of oxygen because the skin needs a lower dose. This is
Hmm.
like 3 times more than that. You know what I mean? So imagine what that's doing inside the body if that's helping the
Right.
body to heal. And of course, they're completely non-toxic and safe. It's not like we're spraying that on the body because it's dangerous and we can't ingest it. It's
Yeah.
actually a version of that. So as far as like any sort of bacterial issues or you know, virus-based issues or anything like that.
Open
The
wounds, everything.
oxygen, well, the liquid oxygen internally addresses those issues because it's
Yeah.
an
Mm.
antibacterial agent. That's why it keeps for so long. I mean, this
Hmm.
bottle, honestly, you could keep it for 6 years. It wouldn't go off. We have to put a use by date on it because
Yeah. Right.
but it doesn't go off. You
Yeah,
know.
sure. Another quick testimonial was my cousin Samantha. Her wisdom tooth was coming in, and she hadn't eaten in like 2 or 3 days. She said it was a 10 out of 10 pain. So I'm like, come over. I sprayed her mouth. An hour later, she was eating Chinese food, which maybe wasn't the best choice, but it just is a testament to how quickly it fixed. And then I'm like, here, you should buy a bottle in case I'm moving to Florida. You might need it. And then she's like, no, like that was a few days later. She's like, nah, it seems completely fine. She didn't even want a bottle, but I'm like, that's how much better it was for her. She did end up getting a bottle, but that just shows how much it helped her.
Yeah. Wow.
Incredible.
I'm not surprised though, to be honest. I'm
Yeah.
really not. It's
I'm still
it's
pretty new, so it's new and
yeah.
exciting.
Oh yeah, I've heard these over years, years and years, and the thing with a business like this is you can't really say much. So I don't want to get in trouble by any, you know, authority
Sure. Yeah.
like people in authority or any governments or TGA here or FDA there
Right.
or anything like
Making
that.
claims. Yeah.
Well, that's why we have the science on the website that sort of leads people to studies about
Yeah.
things like that. So, that they can do their own due diligence and just see if it feels right for them. And, I don't want to push my products down anyone's throat. I
Of course.
haven't really advertised. I just sort of rely on word of mouth. And, a lot of times I get people trying the products and then maybe they're an influencer or something and then they want to work together because they love it because they bought the products.
Yeah.
um, so that's what sort of worked for me and the business so far. But I
Right.
should show you how they actually work,
Yeah.
right?
Please do because when I was introduced to them by Dan McDonald, Life Regenerator, and I had been using them for 6 months, 9 months, and I was noticing benefit. But then when you showed me how to actually use them properly, the benefit was like tenfold. It was like immediately I started seeing much lower inflammation, sleeping much better. So please go ahead and show people how to use them.
So this is a hydrogen tablet. It is a magnesium-based tablet, and it's got some other natural acids in it that. So you can't just put magnesium in a glass of water and it turns into hydrogen gas. There's a secret formula behind it, but it's all natural. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this just into a glass of water, and you're going to start to see. Can you see that?
Yeah, the little bubbles.
So that's trillions and trillions of hydrogen gas bubbles. Now, I don't know whether you can see on top, it's not rising above. So there's nothing like if you have a Barocca, it goes above the surface
Right.
and sort of dissipates into the air. This is staying in the water.
Right.
So even though it looks like it could be effervescent, it's not. It tastes flat, as you know. It's not like a fizzy drink.
Right.
So even though
Like a
it's
club
created,
soda, right?
and the thing you got to get your head around is you're actually drinking a gas, but
Mm.
it's not gassy. So
Right.
what it does is, and this is why you can't OD on it. So you could have this whole bottle in one day and you will not OD on it. You'll get diarrhea from the magnesium,
Mhm.
but you won't OD on it. You know why? Because your body you'll just breathe out the hydrogen gas that you don't need.
Mm.
So it is a gas. It operates as a gas.
Okay.
So this will take about a minute. So I'll just tell you what's going to happen. So basically, we drink it when it's cloudy because it's got the highest concentration of hydrogen in it. And you drink it down, and what it does is it just goes through every cell, and it has this innate intelligence where it can check if a cell needs balancing or not. So this is trillions of hydrogen gas bubbles talking to trillions of cells going, yep, you're good, nope, you're sick, yep, you're good, no, you're sick. The ones that are sick, it will go inside and it will just basically clean up the cells. So it'll address the DNA, it'll help the mitochondria to work better and actually produce more mitochondria as well. It will attach to the damaging free radical I was talking to you about, the
Right.
hydroxyl radical. So it's doing all of these things. But the best thing is, and this is the reason I think that when I started taking it, I got that clarity and just my moods were better and things like that, is because it can pass the blood-brain barrier. And not many things can do that.
Right.
There's a barrier there for a reason. So because this can pass the blood-brain barrier, it actually can balance the cells within the brain as well. So that's why it helps neurological disorders, mood disorders, and things like that. So that's already gone. Okay, so it floated to the top. You can see it's cloudy. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put some minerals in that. Just you can have these separately, of course. This always needs to be taken on its own, on an empty stomach, I mean, without any food.
Right.
An hour and a half after food, or first thing in the morning, or both, or
Yeah.
an hour and a half
I
after
love first
dinner.
thing in the morning.
Put that in. I have two. I have one
Yeah.
raspberry and one super strength in the same glass, and I'm
Oh,
like,
nice.
woo, that's all I need in the morning. So yeah, that's just. I mean, it looks weird, tastes good. Raspberry one, this one is. So
I love the taste of both of them, actually.
I'm not going to let that waste.
Right.
And the other one is the oxygen. So the oxygen, where do I start? Some people just can't stand the taste of it because it does taste a little bit like chlorine.
Right. I personally love the taste. I'm like used to it.
I don't mind the taste of it, but it's the amount of emails that I have, and I've addressed it on the website, but everyone always goes, it smells like bleach. Am I drinking bleach? And I'm like, no, you're not. I'll tell you what happens. There's a manufacturing process using Atlantic sea salt. And during that manufacturing process, chloride is produced. Chloride is what gives out that smell and taste of chlorine. Okay? We can't remove it. The manufacturers try to remove the smell, and the oxygen molecules leave. So there is no product without it.
Right.
This is 3 times as potent as any oxygen product that is available. That's why, I can't really find anything better than this. So you only really need this once a day. A lot of oxygen products will say 3 times a day. Just once a day, you take this for your weight. So I take usually 1 capful, but then if I need to focus or I'm going to do a workout or something, I'll take 2 capfuls. And then the secret squirrel thing, and I have really pulled back from drinking, and I know you don't drink alcohol at all, is you will never get another hangover again if you have this after you've been drinking.
Right.
So you have 1.5 serves before you go to bed after you've been drinking. And what happens while you're sleeping is the oxygen molecules will attach to the alcohol molecules and you'll just wee those out. So what moves you on from a hangover is like the residual effects of alcohol is oxygen. So that's why you can wake up and feel terrible, but then by the end of the day, you're feeling better because you've breathed a lot. You've got a lot of oxygen that's moving that alcohol out.
Right.
So when you actually preempt that and you take this and get it into your system while you're asleep, it's doing all that work for you. So you've gotten rid of most of the alcohol in your
Mm.
body. So that's a little hack, a life hack for people that really, really works. My friends love
Yeah,
it.
even for the people who aren't that interested in health, just so they don't have to have the after effects of drinking, it could be huge for them. I know
Truly,
in my family, it definitely come in handy.
yeah. So you just put two of these into, okay, so let's say you're okay with the taste. Some people have it straight up,
I have it
like,
straight up, yeah.
do you hold it under the tongue?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So hold it under the tongue for 30 seconds, and that is the best, and then swallow it. If you
Okay.
have it, I don't have it straight up. I have it in water or a green juice, like the green drink.
Yeah. I
You can
also
put
do it in the green juice too.
it in your coffee. So
Mhm.
that's like oxygen coffee. So it actually, when you put it in your coffee, you just need one cupful. It will mitigate the jitters or anything like that you get from coffee. It actually just gives you, and it makes the caffeine last longer as well.
Mm.
So you don't need as many coffees. And yeah, so you just put a cupful or two cupfuls into some water. It's clear, completely clear. Can you see that? So the
Yeah.
water's clear, that's in it, and then you just drink that down.
So, would you say that they're both just as efficient, whether you take it straight, neat, or you mix it with water? You're having the same effect.
I would say neat number one.
Okay.
Yeah, neat number one, in water number two, and mix with something number three.
Okay.
Because
And
the oxygen's bioavailable, which means it goes straight into the bloodstream and is utilised immediately in the body. So it doesn't have to sort of wait to get digested through the stomach or anything like that. It's not like that.
yeah.
And so basically, the closer you're having it to its natural form, the more it's going to benefit you and the quicker it's going to work.
Okay. And with the oxygen, if you are putting it, let's say, in a juice, does it need to be drinking right away? Kind of like the hydrogen. I know the accumulation effects go down over time. You can just be sipping on a juice and it'll be fine.
100%.
Same
The thing with
concentration. Okay.
hydrogen, if you just think about a gassy drink, like say a soft drink or say sparkling water that's got CO2 in it, so that if you leave the sparkling water on the bench, it goes flat, right?
Yeah.
Things go flat when they're left. So that's the same as the hydrogen. Because it's a gas, it will escape over
Right.
time.
Right.
That's why we want to get it into our body when it's cloudy instead of
Hmm.
like into a bottle all day because it's not going to have much hydrogen.
Yeah. That's the mistake I was making. That I was putting it into a liter of water and drinking it over like an hour. But then once you told me about the concentration being in the first 2 minutes, I started just drinking it down and noticing a much better effect.
Yeah. And didn't it work better for you?
Yeah, literally right away. Literally, like that night, I was sleeping better, and then continuing to sleep better and better. And now that I'm in Naples, I'm also now sleeping even better. I don't know what it is. It's the I think it's like seeing all the having all the sunlight and the fresher air and everything. But I've been sleeping like 12 hours, and I really need it. You know, I really need that nice deep rest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't think I would be getting it without the supercells. Sleep has always been my biggest challenge. So I'm very happy that I didn't even know that's one of the benefits until I started using it properly. I didn't know it actually helped you sleep.
Yeah. It's a huge, in fact, I get people that say, oh, yeah, no, it didn't really work. How's your sleep? Oh, my sleep. Oh, I'm sleeping so much better. I'm like, okay. Because the thing with these products, because they're cellular based, it takes time, right? It takes
Mhm.
time to build your cellular strength, like
Mhm.
a couple of months at least. And that's why they have a cumulative effect. However, and this is a big but, if you are sick, like your health baseline, this is like regular homeostasis, you're down there. I'm telling you, the minute you take these products, you're going to feel something
Right.
because the sicker you are, the more wow factor you get. It's like,
Right.
what? Like straight away, people that are ill, they really feel the benefits. If you're an athlete performing at your best and you want 1% more, these products are really going to help you. But if you're consistently like a healthy person, you're going to get, there's no way they don't work. They're building your cellular health 100%, but it
Mhm.
may take more time to feel the residual effects, or there may not be as many like, wow, because you're
Right.
already very healthy.
Yeah.
But you may not get sick again, like for a long time, or things like that. And just
Right.
reflecting back, oh, I had a flu last year, but I didn't have it this year. I'm sleeping better. I've got more clarity, more energy. I don't need a second coffee in the
Right.
day. Things like that.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll forget how far I've come because, I'll eat so healthy for so long and I'll be getting better and better, but then I'll do something, slip back. Maybe I'll have some large amount of caffeine or I'll eat something that's, not too healthy and I'll feel it and it'll remind me of how bad I used to feel. And it's really quite amazing the difference. And I feel as though that's common with these as well, where it's like for the people that don't notice the big difference, the big swing right away, when they're taking it over a long period of time, maybe it was so subtle the increase in health, but then when they stop using it, they really are like, wow, I really was noticing more than I
That's
thought.
so true. The amount of people that stop, and I encourage people to have a break
Yeah.
because you've built your health baseline to up here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Like more than homeostasis. Like you are healthy, and then you stop. And then even though you go back to like a normal range of health, it feels like I don't feel as good because you know yourself. You get used to feeling good,
Yeah.
right? And then
Right.
that becomes your new norm when you
Right.
feel good. And then the minute that you're not looking after yourself or giving your body what it requires, then you start slipping back, and you can really feel it. Even though you're not unhealthy, you've just slipped back from the peak.
Yeah, sure. And one of my favorite things that you talk about in some of your videos on YouTube is how you mentioned, and you mentioned it in the beginning as well, but like where everyone's so worried about the diet, which is very important, and they're worried about, are they getting the right nutrients and, like you mentioned, the proteins and different things, but really giving your baseline, your giving the cells their fundamentals. Now that you can properly, like you said, utilize all of this stuff, it's just so important because so many people are eating and eating because their bodies are crying out for the things that they're missing. And with this, you can be rest assured that you're actually going to be utilizing the stuff that you have and you're also going to be getting everything you need at the same time.
Well, my uncle's quite overweight, and I just saw him recently. He started on. He only takes the minerals. He doesn't. I can't. He's not ready for the hydrogen or oxygen. But he's lost about 9 kilos just from taking this because he
Wow.
said that he didn't even change anything. He just started taking that. And as you said, because what we do is we're nutrient deficient, so that your body's sending a message, I'm hungry, because it's looking for more nutrients, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not getting it from the foods we eat, especially the more processed foods actually steal
Yeah.
nutrients from you, like from your bones or like whatever. Like
Yeah. Right.
it's process to process.
Mm.
It's
Your body
like,
has to compensate for
yeah,
what it's
like,
lacking or what it's trying to buffering.
yeah. So he started taking that, and like 1 month in, he's like, I don't have my afternoon sleep anymore, and I'm not eating chocolate. And he's got a really sweet tooth. And he just said, I just don't have those cravings. It's like literally taken it away. So that was really good for me to see that. And then when we came to have a few more bottles, I was like, oh my gosh, Uncle Pete, you've lost weight, like heaps of weight. He goes, yeah, it's this, like,
Yeah. Of
because he doesn't want to diet or anything, he's past
course.
that. He's about 65 or something. He's not
Right.
into dieting, but he just knows if he takes this,
Yeah.
he's craving what he used to crave, and he doesn't need his afternoon sleep, and that's all he needs. Like that's fine.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the other things that I love about Supercell so much. It's so easy to use. It's so simple. Maybe you can use it twice a day. Like I use it twice a day. I believe you said you do too, for most of for the minerals and the hydrogen. But you can really take it once a day or take it twice a day in the beginning and build up that accumulation. But it's so simple. You literally add it to water, or you take a shot of the oxygen, or put it in some juice, and that's literally setting you up for so much more success just doing that. Of course, you can address all these other things like fitness and nutrition, but really it gives people a chance because so many people are overwhelmed and maybe they don't even know how to prepare food or they have no clue where to start with exercise. But this is something that anyone can do. I highly recommend it to anybody. and it's just really powerful. And people are seeing results. I have family and friends using these things now daily, and they're noticing all types of different things. They're all noticing more energy and clearer skin, and they're getting satisfied. For me, I had the biggest appetite on anyone that I've ever met. I think you listened to my story, yeah, on episode 2, and I would eat up to 10,000 calories, and I'm just, no matter what, the only reason I would stop eating is because my stomach couldn't fit anymore. But with things like these, it's like the actual conductivity of the cells and the minerals reaching and nourishing, and it's just been so beneficial for me. So I want to thank you personally again, even though I thank you all the time. It's just like, it's been such a difference.
Well, to be honest with you, I just want to help people heal and just leave this earth knowing that I did something to help, because people are so unhappy and the world is in just such a bad way at the moment. If we
Yeah.
can just feel good within ourselves and just feel healthy and feel stronger to take on what we're being dished out to us at the moment. And
Yeah.
also, when you feel good, you're nicer.
Yeah.
You're nice to people. Like
Yeah.
you feel good, you got a spring in your step, you're going to say hello to a stranger, like it's just that knock-on effect of just always coming back to health.
Yeah.
And also there's things you can do without super cells. As I said before, the main things for me are getting some sunlight. Don't be afraid of the sun, especially first thing in the morning. If you can, watch the sunrise. That is powerful. And an affirmation to say, I say it all the time. I shut my eyes, looking at the sun, facing the sun, and I say, every cell in my body radiates with perfect health. That's what I say. Every cell in my body radiates with perfect health. And I take that charge from the sun, goes through my pineal gland, into my body, and I'm standing barefoot on the sand. I live near the beach, and I'm getting that negative charge. And it can be grass,
Yeah.
dirt,
Right.
anything. Get the negative charge through your feet, and then breathe deeply, and you're getting that oxygen. And all I'm doing with my business is replicating what nature and the universe has given us. Hydrogen, it's all around us. Earth's minerals
Mhm.
from millions and millions of years of the earth, like churning and everything, all the goodness in the earth. And of course the oxygen,
Yeah.
which is all around us, which we get deficient in after the age of 20. So
Yeah. I remember you were mentioning that unless you're doing the Wim Hof every day, the oxygen is really going to be beneficial on top of that fact. Like you were saying, it's hard to, because once you get in, I think you said your 30s, it starts to go down 1% per year. And uh, I had been doing the Wim Hof, but also I fall out of stuff like that all the time because it can be inconvenient. And something like this is so convenient. It's just, you just take it. And
yeah,
I came from a background too of being so like trying to be, no supplements at all. And I was trying to just solve all my problems with food or whatever. But then, including the enzymes and the supercell stuff, this stuff has been the game changer. It has added so much vitality to me. It's given me so much hope, and it's been enhancing my life ever since. So I highly encourage entertaining the idea of utilizing these things because they are natural. Maybe we just aren't getting them in the concentrations that we would otherwise get them.
yeah. I think it's time to come back to just sensibility about health,
Yeah.
and just, as I said, just break it down. We started life as a single cell. We are one cell that just
Mm.
replicated and replicated and replicated. Just think about one cell. Think about, I'm just going to get one cell healthy, right? How
Right.
can I do that? I'm going to take away things that harm it. I'm going to take away, you know, all the pollutants that I put in. I'm going to be careful with the radiation I'm exposed to, like 5G and stuff like that. And I'm going to put in what it needs, because my cell's deficient, my cell's unbalanced, and do that through food. Things like having a sauna every now and then,
Yeah.
doing some bouncing, like on a trampoline or
Yeah.
rebounder. That's really good as well. Just get
Yeah.
yourself moving.
Get that lymph flowing through your body.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, we're gonna start closing up here. Selina, did you have anything in closing that you would like to just put out there?
No, I just want to thank you
Yeah.
so much for interviewing me. You are like such a wonder to me. I just love your passion. I believe that you're going to help a lot of people, AJ. Yeah, you've just got that. I think it's your calling to be doing this, and I'm here to support you 1,000,000%. And I just want the best for you. And I just love how you're just changing your life, like for the better every day. I'm moving
Yeah.
here. I'm going to the sun. I'm gonna, like people don't have guts, and you do. And
Yeah.
I really like take my hat off to you. I think it's amazing.
Thank you. I have great influences and teachers in my life, and you're definitely one of them. And I feel as though we could just talk all day, but for everyone that watches, feel free to leave a comment for Selena and let me know what you think. And as well, if you want to see your guy, if you guys want to see her back on, we can get really specific on certain things that you guys are interested in. So leave a comment down below. That'd be great. I'm also going to leave a link to not only your um, supercells.com, but as well as the YouTube channel and all the links for everything, so they can find out what you're all about.
Yeah, I post stuff on Instagram every now and
Oh,
then,
Instagram too, yeah.
and if you want the science, you can go to mysupercells.com. There's stuff there, and
I
of
spend
course,
so much time on the site because it's so interesting. You just get to read all about the stuff. I love it.
and I also send me a message. Like I love hearing from people, and if you've got any questions directly, always open to answering. Actually, that's how we met.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
on a family holiday, and AJ's like, "Can you take a call?" And I'm like, "Yeah, take a call."
Yeah. Great. Okay, perfect. Selena, thanks so much again. I think people are really going to love this, and they're really going to now have a better understanding. It's not just the product. It's not, to me, it's really not an advantage in what do we have going on. With all the disadvantages out there, this is really an advantage. So thank you for what you do. I appreciate you.
I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Take care.